ॐ अज्ञानतिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं साग्रजातगुणान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सगललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome all for today's Bhagavad Gita class. Till now, what we have seen is the first verse where Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya that my sons and the sons of Pandu had assembled in the battle of Kurukshetra, and what did they do? And Sanjaya, being knowing the inner reason of why Dhritarashtra is asking this question, he tells that do not worry, Duryodhana is going to Dronacharya, and there he will tell what are the things to be done. And then Duryodhan tells what are the people in the other army or the opposite army of the Pandavas who are the main uh, Yodhas or the main chieftains of that. And then Duryodhana also tells who are the main fighters from his side. And afterwards, seeing how Duryodhana is diplomatically telling all the things. So then Bhishma Pitama blows his conch shells, and then all other people also blow their conch shells. And then we see in verse number 14 how Krishna and Arjuna are coming in the picture. And then we see how all the other Pandavas also blow their conch shell. And then verse number 19 we'll see from today. सघोषोधात राष्ट्रस्य नाम हृदयानि व्यधायेत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलो अभयानुनादयन्. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So when Bhishma and others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conch shells, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are not mentioned, but in this particular verse it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas' party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear even in the midst of the greatest calamity. So if we see here, after Duryodhana and party, the Kauravas blew their conch shell, Pandavas also blew their conch shell. But there is no fear in the side of Pandavas, whereas the Duryodhana, if you see, their hearts are being broken. So if we see, and this is why, because Krishna is on the side of Arjuna. So this we should know, if Krishna is on our side, will never face any losses. See, temporarily, we may see that there will be some setbacks. We may see that in this material world, there are some happenings or some bad things which happen to devotees. But this is only on material plane, and this is not on devotional plane. So if Krishna promises us that he will protect our devotion at any point, he may protect or he may not protect our material bodies, but devotion he anyways protects. And therefore, if you see, one who takes shelter of Supreme Lord has nothing to fear even in the midst of the greatest calamity. So this material world is being called as Dukhalam or Shashvatam. It's full of miseries and it is temporary. So these two things we'll see again and again, and this the theme of tolerating this material dualities. This will come again and again in Bhagavad Gita. This is one of the themes it will be repeating. And therefore, what we need to do is to take shelter of Supreme Lord. So the purpose why we are understanding this Bhagavad Gita is to take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the goal for which we are reading this Bhagavad Gita. And then from verse number 20 to 27, Arjuna observes the army. So the chapter name, which is observing the armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, has come because of this all the verses. And now Arjuna will ask Krishna that let us take the chariot between the armies. And I want to see who are the yodhas or who are the people who are there to fight with us in the opposite party. So let's read the shloka. अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धातराष्ट्रं कपिध्वज प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रे सम्पाते धनुरुद्यम पाण्डव ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् इदम् आह महीपते. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing a flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. So now the fight is going to start, and Arjuna has also took his Gandiva bow and arrow to fight. And that time, what is happening is, if we see, his flag is marked with Hanuman. And this is a very special thing because in the Ramayana, if we see, Hanuman helped Ram to conquer the whole war. And now here also, we see both Hanuman is also present and Ram is also present in form of Krishna. And this war is also being won by the party of Pandavas. So let us see the purport. There are so many things in this. Let us discuss. The battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. So if we see, before even the battle began, the Duryodhana party had disheartened. So this is a very good strategy which most people use in so many things also, where morally or mentally you are exhausted or you are made exhausted by the opposite party so that you are down from the first instance. And in this way, even if you have capabilities to win, still you may lose. And therefore, here also, if we see, Duryodhan had more power than Pandavas. If we take out Krishna, if we see all the strength of all the people, they had more armies and they had more powerful people. But because Krishna was on the side of Pandavas, they will definitely win. But otherwise, there was no problem why he's getting disheartened. But see, just by the arrangement of military force of the Pandavas, Dhritarashtra is getting disheartened. And this is the reason he's already lost the war before even the war has begun. Because in the hearts of Duryodhana party, they're just thinking that we have lost the war. And this should not happen whenever we in devotional service. Devotional service is a service of hope. Whenever we are in the midst of greatest difficulty also in devotional service, we should never ever lose hope because Krishna is on our side. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Ram in the battle between Rama and Ravana, and Lord Ram emerged victorious. So another sign of victory is given because Hanuman is there on the flag of Arjuna. And we'll see how Hanuman came on the flag on this. There are two stories we'll discuss after the purport is done. We'll discuss both the stories. Now both Rama and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him. Lord Krishna is Ram himself, and whenever Lord Ram is his eternal servitor Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. So we should never worship Sita alone, or Ram alone, or Krishna alone, or Radharani alone. We should always understand they are together. Whenever there is Krishna, Radharani is always there, and whenever there is Ram, Sita Rani is also there. Sita Mata is also there. So they are always present. And here also, if we see, because Ramji and Hanuman are present, Sita Mata is also present. Therefore, Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever, and above all, the Lord of senses, Lord Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. So when Krishna is giving direction, what is the problem? There is no problem. Thus, all good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious conditions, arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee, lay the signs of assured victory. So, this all the auspicious conditions arrived. It only tells that Arjuna will be victorious, and this all arranged by Krishna. So, in our life also, whatever victories we get are all arranged by Krishna himself. It is not by our own endeavors, it is by Krishna which we are getting all the victory in our life. So Kapi Dhwaja means Arjuna had a flag of Hanuman. So this indicates that he had received mercy of the great warrior Hanuman, who had previously performed great feats for Lord Sri Ram. Therefore, Arjuna had no trace of fear. So let us see both the stories, how Hanuman uh, came on the flag of Arjuna. Story number one. So when Arjuna went to Rameswaram, he inquired why Rama had to use monkeys to build the bridge to Lanka. He could have used arrows. So there was a conversation where Arjuna is asking that why he needed to use monkeys for making a bridge. Why he could not use arrows? So a small monkey said that the bridge would break. So he said that the bridge will not work because of arrows. It requires strength. So Arjuna said, let me make a bridge that no monkey would break. And the monkey challenged him. So they had a challenge. So if Arjuna won the challenge, the monkey will become his servant. And if monkey won, then Arjuna will commit suicide. So this was a challenge set by both the parties. And then Arjuna made a bridge of several times, but each time monkey broke it. So after a few attempts, Arjuna decided to commit suicide. But then a Brahmana boy appeared and said the contest should have an arbitrator or a judge who will decide that who wins or loses. And then again the challenge was made. And this time, when Arjuna made the bridge with the arrows, the monkey could not break it. He even expanded himself, but he could not break it. And then the monkey realized that the Brahmana was none other than his master Ram, and Arjuna recognized him as Krishna. So then Krishna then advised them that not to make contests like this, but he reminded that the monkey should fulfill his promise by placing on Arjuna's flag. So that in this way, Hanuman promised that I will be on the flag of Arjuna, because the monkey lost the war. That is, Hanuman lost the promise they had made. So this way it happened. Another one story or incident comes. So once when Pandava was in exile, so Arjuna was asked to seek celestial weapons, and the remaining Pandavas wandered to Badrika Ashram, so high Himalayas. So the ashram which we know now is in the Himalayas, where we can go. About that, there are higher Himalayas where human beings cannot go, but Pandavas went there. And what happened there was the Alakananda river carried to Draupadi a very fragrant 1,000 petal flowers. And Draupadi was so much captivated by his beauty that she asked Bhima that if you get me one, I will offer to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and we will take some back to our hermitage in Kamyaka. And Bhima, of course, wanted to please Draupadi. So he grabbed his club and went up. And here, no mortals are allowed. So no human beings are allowed. But Bhima had extraordinary strength, so he could go. And as he ran, so he frightened all the animals. He uprooted trees. And he did not care for anybody. And he was just going. And thereafter, what happened was, there was a huge monkey who blocked his path. And the monkey said that, why are you making so much noise? Just sit down. And that time, Bhima said that move aside. I will just want to go. And this monkey said that, no, I'm very old and I cannot move. If you have the strength, then you can jump over me, or otherwise you can move my tail. But Bhima said that I cannot jump over you because this is not the etiquette. So he tried to move the tail. And if you know, Bhima had a strength of 10,000 elephants. It was not a less strength, but that strength also, he could not move the tail of Hanuman or the monkey. And then, seeing the strength of the monkey, Bhima was very much amazed, and he asked that, who are you? And that time Hanuman ji revealed his identity, and this both were overjoyed because Bhima and Hanuman both are the sons of Vayu. They are both the Vayu Putra, and therefore Hanuman embraced Bhima. And then he showed his the huge form, and then offered the following blessings: that I shall remain present on the flag of your brother Arjuna, and whenever you roar like a lion on the battlefield, my voice will join you and with yours to strike terror into the hearts of your enemies. So you will be victorious and regain your kingdom. So like this, Hanumanji gave his blessings to Bhima. This we can see. So these are the two stories why Hanumanji is there on the flag of Arjuna. This we can understand. So then verse number 21 and 22. So now Arjuna is asking Krishna, so let us take our Ratha or chariot between the two armies. Arjuna uvacha senayorubhayor madhye ratam sapaya me achyuta yavadeta nirikshayaham yuddha kamam avasthitan kairmaya saha yodhavyam asmin rane samudyame. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, let me see who are present here, who wants to fight with us, who is desiring to fight. And I want to see them because now we are going to fight with them. So although Lord Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend. He never fails in affection for his devotee, and thus is addressed here as infallible. As charioteer, he has to carry out the order of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible. So if we see Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Arjuna is his devotee, but still Krishna is following the orders of Arjuna. See, generally what happens is, if a person is on a higher position, he will not follow the orders of lower positions. He will give the orders. But see the Bhakta Vatsalta of Krishna, that he is so affectionate to Arjuna that he is following the orders of Arjuna. And Krishna likes to follow the orders of his devotees if they are pure devotees. So our aim in life should be to become pure devotees of Krishna. And in this way, we should establish our connection with Krishna. And here, he is called as infallible. Infallible means one who never falls in his promises. So once he has given his promise, he will never fail. And this is the character of Krishna. And he has done so in so many times with the Pandavas, that whenever Pandavas took some promise, he followed it and he helped them to fulfill their promise. Although he accepted the position of charioteer for his devotee, his supreme position was not challenged. In all circumstances, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Krishna may do whatever he wants. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is the Lord. So whenever he leaves the battle, he is called as Ranchor. So we worship him as Ranchor. If any other person run from the battle, we'll chastise him, we'll say ill words to him. But when Krishna does it, he is worshipped as Ranchor Rai. Even when Krishna does theft of butter and all, so we told him Makhan Chor, but still we worship him. So whatever Krishna does is worshipable. No laws are applicable on Krishna. Because sometimes so many people say that
Krishna can do so many things. He can perform Raslila, and if we do, we are thief, but he does, then he's not thief. So we should understand, if somebody is the Lord, somebody is the king, if somebody is the owner of a company, he need not follow the rules. The rules are made for the common people, the citizens, uh, the devotees, not the Lord. Whatever Lord does is perfect in itself, and it's meant just for relishing. It's meant just for our own uh, upliftment. So here also, the size, if we see the deities, size of deities Krishna, they are sometimes very small, very big, but the power never changes in Krishna. So the size may be small or big, but the power remains the same. So when Krishna was very small, just a child of 2 to 3 days, he killed Putna. And when he was more a bit older, he killed so many demons. So we cannot estimate Lord by his size. We should understand Lord is Lord, whatever he does. And here he has become a chariot driver. Then he is worshipped as Partha Sarthi. So we worship him as Partha Sarthi, and we should never condemn him. So this is what we should understand from this. And his supreme position is not challenged. So we should never challenge his position. In all circumstances, he is supreme personality of Godhead. Rishikesha, the Lord of total senses. So he's the Lord of senses. We are not. The relationship between the Lord and his servitor is very sweet and transcendental. So our aim is to have very sweet relation with the Lord. And these are transcendental, they are beyond this material world. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking opportunity to render some service to the devotee. So this is very sweet relationship. So in material world now, what happens is the boss or the person who is on superior wants to take service from the servant. But here there is a reciprocation. The devotee serves the Lord, and the Lord wants to serve his devotee. Again, the devotee serves the Lord wants to serve his devotee. So if we see in the case of gopis, who are the highest devotees of Lord, so why gopis decorate themselves? Just to please the Lord. There is no other motive in their life. They just want to please the Lord, and therefore they will decorate themselves. And in this way, Krishna will get pleased. And if Krishna gets pleased, he will do more pastimes with them. So this way, the reciprocation between them goes on and on and on. So this is what we should always do. We should render some service, and Krishna is ever our well-wisher, and he always does so many service for us. So we should be aware of. He takes greater pleasure in his pure devotees, assuming the advantage position of ordering him than he does in being the giver of orders. So he takes pleasure in taking orders. Like Yashodamai tells him so many times that bring this seed to me. And he goes and brings. Even Nanda Maharaj says that bring my slippers. So he takes the slippers on his head and brings to Nanda Maharaj. And he's very happy in doing this. This we should understand. And no. Since he is the master, everyone is under his orders and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure, although he is unfallible master in all circumstances. So this we can understand if we give an example of small child. So the Dadaji or the Nana may take the child and become a horse for that child. This child is very small. Actually, the child cannot do much, but because the grandfather has affection for the child, and because of the love for the child, he is ready to serve the child. And in the same way, actually, Krishna is Vibhu and we are Anu. We are very small, Krishna is very big. But because of his love for his devotees, because of his love for us, he's ready to serve us in many ways. And therefore, here also, if we see, he finds pleasure in serving the devotee. And this is transcendental. As a pure devotee of Lord, Arjun had no desire to fight with his cousins and brothers, but he was forced to come onto the battlefield by the obstinacy of Duryodhana, who was never agreeable to any peaceful negotiation. So because Arjuna was a pure devotee, and pure devotees have only one ambition in their life, to please the Lord, to do devotional service to the Lord. They have no other motives. But here, what was happened was, because of obstinacy of Duryodhana, because Duryodhana did not consider to very, very small demands of Pandavas also to just have 5 villages. So Pandavas were forced to come on the battlefield, and therefore Arjuna had to fight. Otherwise, there was no need of fighting. Therefore, he was very anxious to see who the leading persons present on the battlefield were. Although there was no question of peacemaking and they were on the battlefield, he wanted to see them again, and and to see how much they were bent upon demanding an unwanted war. So Arjuna wanted to see who were there on the battlefield, and there was no peacemaking now because they had tried a lot. So now just he wanted to see who are there in the opposite party. So now further verse number 23 we'll see. Yotsamananam avekshaham ye ete atra samagata dhatarashtasya durbuddhe yuddhe priya chikeshava. So Yotsamanam means those who will be fighting. Avish, let me see. Aham, I, ye who. Ete, those atra here, samagata, assembled. Dhatarashtasya, for the son of Dhritarashtra. Durbuddhi, evil-minded. Yuddha, in the fight. Priya, well. Chikesha, wishing. So let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. So Arjuna wanted to see, and because he knew that the Duryodhana was evil-minded, and still so many people are supporting him. So let me see who are the people who are supporting him and with whom I need to fight. So it was an open secret that Duryodhana wanted to usurp the kingdom of Pandavas by evil plans in collaboration with his father Dhritarashtra. So everybody knew this, and they had did it so many times before, and now also they are trying to do. Therefore, all persons who had joined the side of Duryodhana must have been the birds of same feather. Arjuna wanted to see them on the battlefield before the fight was begun, just to learn who they were, but he had no intention of proposing peace negotiations with them. It was also a fact that he wanted to see them to make an estimate of the strength which he had to face, although he was quite confident of victory because Krishna was sitting by his side. So, bhakti depends on faith. So progressively, as we go on increasing our bhakti, as we progress in different stages of bhakti, from Shraddha to Sadhu Sang to Bhajan Kriya to Anat Nivriti, then Asakti, Ruchi, Bhav and Prem. So in every stage, we have faith, but the faith goes on increasing. And here also, we see Arjuna had so much faith in Krishna that he will definitely win, whatever may happen. So if Arjuna would be alone in the battlefield and Krishna was with him, he would have won the war without the help of others also. Because there is a faith which Arjuna had, and this is a faith which we should have in Krishna. So as we grow in our bhakti, gradually as we spend time in our bhakti, our faith in Krishna should gradually go on increasing. And this is one of the important factor for us to understand, is our bhakti increasing or not. So if bhakti is increasing, that means that our faith is going to increase. And in this way, we should work. So now verse number 24 we'll see. Sanjaya uvacha eva mukto rishikesho gudakeshena bharata senayorubhayor madhye sapayitva rathotamam. So now Sanjay is now will speak what is happening. So Sanjay uvacha, Sanjay said, evam, thus ukta addressed Rishikesha, Lord Krishna, Gudakeshena by Arjuna, Bharata, descent of Bharata, Senayor of the armies, Ubhayo, both, Madhya in the midst, Stapitva, placing, Ratha Uttamam, the finest chariot. So Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. So if you see, different names are given to Krishna and Arjuna. Why? Let us understand through the purports. In this verse, Arjuna is referred as Gudakesha. Gudaka means sleep, and one who conquers sleep is called Gudakesha. So sleep also means ignorance. So Arjuna had conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. So we all know Arjuna is also called as Gudakesh because he would not be in ignorance at any point of time. He would not sleep also for so many days, and still he would not be fatigued, or there was no effect of sleep on him. And therefore, he had also conquered ignorance, and therefore he was also called as Gudakesh, one who has conquered sleep and ignorance. So this is a very good achievement, which we should also try in our own ways. At least we should sleep what is only necessary for the body, and in this way we should also try to conquer ignorance in whatever way we can. So Arjuna, now, as a great devotee of Krishna, he could not forget Krishna even for a moment, because that is the nature of a devotee. Either in waking or in sleep, a devotee of the Lord never be free from thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. So here, if we want to conquer ignorance and sleep, we need to think of Krishna constantly. So constant remembrance of Krishna is not a very easy thing. It requires a lot of endeavor, and whichever modes we are in, ignorance or tamogun or rajogun, we have to come first to sattvagun, a mode of goodness, and from that mode we have to come to shuddha sattvagun. So when we come to the mode of shuddha sattvagun, then only this constant remember is very possible, or at least in the mode of goodness, remembrance is much more possible. So we should gradually come to this level, and then we can move on. So this is called Krishna consciousness of samadhi, to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So we should always try, as far as whatever we do, to remember Krishna constantly and never ever forget him. So we should always try to find an opportunity to remember Krishna. And if we see in chapter further, if we go to chapter number 7, 10, 11, different opportunities or different ways will be told by Krishna to Arjuna, that how can you remember it every moment? Like, I am a taste of water. So while we are drinking water, we can remember, oh, Krishna is a taste of water. So like this, there's so many ways, by even seeing the material things, we can remember Krishna. So this is what our motto should be. This is called Krishna Samadhi, as Rishikesha, the director of senses and mind of every living entity. Krishna could understand Arjuna's purpose in placing the chariot in the midst of the armies. Thus, he did so and spoke as follows. So now Krishna is understanding what is there in Arjuna's mind, and he knows that he will still soon get bewildered, and therefore now he is going to speak as follows. So let us take verse number 25. भीष्मद्रोण प्रमुखता सर्वेषां च महिषिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्येतान् समवेतान् कुरुनिति. Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, Drona, the teacher Drona, Pramukhata, in front of Sarvesham, all, Cha also, Mahishitam, chief of all the world, Uvacha, said Partha, or son of Pritha, Pashya, just behold, Etan, all of them, Samvetan, assembled, Kurun, the members of the Kuru dynasty, iti, thus. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. So, if we see, Krishna knows what is going in Arjuna's mind, and therefore, he's bringing the chariot in presence of Bhishma and Drona. So Bhishma and Drona were the two most important people from Duryodhana's side, but they also had so much affection for Pandavas, and Pandavas also had so much affection for Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya, and therefore Krishna has purposefully brought this chariot in front of them, so that different emotions are being churned in the heart of Arjuna, and in this way Krishna will get a chance to speak on Bhagavad Gita. So let us see what purport has to say. As a super soul of all living entities, Lord Krishna could understand what was going in the mind of Arjuna. So we should always understand this one thing, that Krishna is always there in our hearts as super soul. Sometimes many devotees have this question, or many newcomers also, whether Krishna knows what I am going through, or whether Krishna knows what are challenges I am facing, or whether Krishna will direct me in my life. So we should understand this one thing, that Krishna is always there within our heart as Paramatma. As soon as we desire something, Krishna will help us to get that things. And here also, if we see, Krishna is their super soul and he knows the mind of Arjuna. So if he knows the mind of Arjuna, he knows the mind of every living entity because he's a super soul. And therefore, he's always there to help us. And therefore, we should be very confident on the Krishna, on the strength of Krishna, that he will always there to protect us. The use of word Rishikesha in this connection indicates that he knew everything. And the word Partha, or the son of Kunti, or Pritha, is also similarly significant in reference to Arjuna. So one of the name of Kunti was Pritha, and from there Partha comes, that is the son of Pritha or Partha. As a friend, he wanted to inform Arjuna that because Arjuna was the son of Pritha, the sister of his own father Vasudev, he had agreed to be the charioteer of Arjuna. Now, what did Krishna mean when he told Arjuna to behold the Kurus? So, what is the meaning when Krishna is saying that see all the Kurus now? So now, did Arjuna want to stop there and not fight? So now, Krishna is expecting that Arjuna will now tell that I do not want to fight. So Krishna do not expect this from Arjuna, but he understands that this is going to happen. So one is what we want, and one is what is the actual situation. So we may desire so many things, but actual situation may vary. So Krishna doesn't want Arjuna to run out of the battle, to run away. But now Krishna knows that Arjuna is going to give some reasons not to fight. And therefore, before only he's concluded, did Arjuna want to stop there and not fight? So Krishna never expected such things from the son of his aunt Pritha. The mind of Arjuna was thus predicted by Lord in a friendly joking. So Krishna knew what is going in the mind of Arjuna and he was just joking. And now, in the next verse 26, so Arjuna will now see who are the people on the party of Duryodhana. So who are there on the side of Duryodhana? Let us see. Tatra pasyat sitan partha pitrin atha pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratrin putran pautran sakim statha sasuran sauradaschaiva senayorubhayorapi. Tatra, there, apasyat, he could see Sitan standing, Partha, Arjuna, Pitrin, fathers, Atha, also Pitamaha, grandfathers, Acharya, teachers, Matulan, maternal uncles, Bhatrin, brothers, Putran, sons, Pautran, grandsons, Sakhin, friends, Tatha, to Sasuran, fathers-in-law, Surada, well-wishers, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Senayo, of the armies, Ubhayo, of both parties, Api, including. So, whatever relations we have in this world, maybe father, grandfather, son, grandson, uncle and all, Arjuna could all see in the battlefield and they are fighting against him. So that Arjuna could see while within the midst of these armies of both parties, fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father-in-laws and well-wisher. So this is a very peculiar condition in our life also. Most of the battles which we have to fight is against the one whom we know. There are our relatives. And this is a war which everyone has to play. And our relatives or our well-wishers are the one with whom, if there is a battle, then we are in a very precarious situation. Because these are people from whom we expect peace, we expect that they will help us. But these are the people whom we fight. And in today's world, if we see all the property cases, all the court cases, all the divorce cases, on so many are going on because of this one reason. not having good relationship with each other. So good relationship are the foundation for good material life and good spiritual life. Without good relationships, nothing can survive. Whatever bigger company may be, whatever make, things we make, whatever big bungalows, whatever things we make, but if there are not good relationship, it will fall down. And here also, if we see, Hastinapur is a very big kingdom, and all Pandavas and Arjuna and Kauravas, if they had good relationship, they could have lived very peacefully. But here, because of the problem with one person, Duryodhana, who wanted all for himself, this is a very typical mentality of in today's world also, if everyone, that everyone wants everything for oneself. They do not want to share with others. And therefore, lot of wars are taking place nowadays. If people are a bit liberal, if people are a bit going ahead and they just want to share some things, the peace can be expected. And this can only happen when they all think that Krishna is the proprietor of all things. And because it all belongs to Krishna, I am only a caretaker. So whatever is there with me, I will take whatever is needed by me and I will share the other portion with others. So this is a very common theme which we see in Bhagavad Gita, that if we want to attain peace, we should understand who is the proprietor of all these things. And here also, if we see, all the relatives are there, and if we see that all the relatives are part and parcel of Krishna and they are connected to us, because they are connected to Krishna, then the peace can prevail. But here, what are the aside on the side of Duryodhana? They are hell-bent that they want everything for themselves, and therefore this whole world has took place. So on the battlefield, Arjuna could see all kind of relatives. He could see persons like Bhurishava, who were his father's contemporaries, grandfathers Bhishma and Somadatta, teachers like Dronacharya and Kripacharya, better uncles like Shalya and Shakuni, brothers like Duryodhana, sons like Lakshmana, friends like Ashwathama, well-wishers like Kritavarma, etc. He could all see them, all armies which contained many of his friends. So, very difficult situation for Arjuna, where he needs to fight his own relatives. And we will see how does he process all these things. Let us see verse number 27. तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेय सर्वान् बान्धुम् अवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विषीदन् idam अब्रवीत्. Tan, all of them, Samiksha, after seeing, Sahi, Kaunteya, the son of Kunti, Sarvan, all kinds of Bandhun, relatives, Avasitan, situated, Kripaya, by compassion, Paraya, of high grade, Avastita, Avasti, overwhelmed, Vishidan, by lamenting, Idam, thus, Abravit spoke. So when the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. So, if we see, there are so many realities. We come to know this is coming, but when the reality actually faces us, there are so many dilemmas between us. There are so many challenges we face. Like, suppose there is some exam which is going to come. So students already know that there is exams which are going to come and they are preparing for the exams. But on the day of exams, if we see, there are a lot of emotions which are churned, and there are so many highs and lows which go on. Even if they have prepared for the exams, even if they know that these are going, the questions which are going to come, still there is a high churning of emotion within. So here also, if we see, Arjuna already knew that these are the people whom I need to fight. This is the place we are going to fight. They're all planning. For so many years, they are planning. But when the actual fight came, so many emotions are being churned in the heart of Arjuna. And now he will tell that why I do not want to fight. And like this, we see so many students, they read a lot, they learn a lot. And when the exam comes, they give up. They say that I will not write the exams, I will not fight. So many people are being taught in the life in so many things, but when the real fight comes, they just leave it. So this fight is not the battle which is fought outside, It's a battle in the mind. So one who conquers the battle in the mind has more chance of victory outside. So whenever there is a fight, the fight goes twice. One, it's happened outside, but the first fight is in the mind. And this is a fight which most people loses, and the most people just leave their battlefield before only this only. And this is a fight which we should win. So Bhagavad Gita is not a book which is made to learn the skill for Arjuna, because Arjuna had already skill, was already there with Arjuna. But Bhagavad Gita was spoken so that the willpower of Arjuna is increased. So willpower is more important than skill also. If we have willpower, then skills can be learned. But if we have skills and we do not have will, we will never win. And here also, Arjuna had all the skills. All the skills Arjuna had. There were no skills which Arjuna didn't have. Arjuna had fought with Shivji. Arjuna had fought with Indra. He had gone to Swarga. He had all the celestial weapons. He had all the knowledge. But if we see, just seeing the way all these friends are there, Arjuna will now say what are the reasons not to fight. So he is losing the willpower. So in the life also, we should try to increase our willpower. And if willpower is more, we'll eventually learn all the skills. It doesn't mean that skills are not important, but willpower is more important than skill. So I will just share a summary before we go to the further sections, and then we'll go to sections also. So now from verse number 28 to 46, there are Arjuna's reason not to fight. So there are 4 reasons which are given in this chapter, and 1 reason is given in the next chapter 2.6. So here is a summary for us to better comprehend the things. And if we want, you can take a photo of this so that or a screenshot, whatever you want, so that further also, whenever we are going through, you may understand where we are. So Arjuna gave 4 reasons in this chapter. Is first is compassion for friends and relatives. So he had so much compassion that he didn't want to fight. So this is verse 28 to 30, and Krishna addresses them in verse number 11 to 30 in chapter 2. Second reason he gives that no enjoyment even is victorious. So even if he is won, because the opposite party all are dead, all the relatives are dead, so whom he will show his enjoyment to? And therefore he doesn't want to fight. So Arjuna also addresses them in verse number 31 to 37, chapter 2. Then third reason is fear of sinful reactions. So he's fearing that I may not get sinful reaction. So why should I fight? Why, Krishna, why don't you kill all the things, all this army and all? So in this way, all the adharma will also go and will also live peacefully. But then Arjuna, this doubt of Arjuna is refuted by Krishna in verse number 38 in second chapter, and from 38 to 53 in second chapter. And then Arjuna gives 4th reason of destruction of family tradition. If seniors are lost, then juniors and others will get polluted. And in this way, unwanted population will rise, and this will create chaos, and wars situation will go on. And this is refuted by Krishna in verse number 45, 46 and 3.24 also. And last, Arjuna is indecisive, which is told in second chapter, verse number 6, and this is refuted by Krishna in verse number 41. So now this is a summary of whole chapter, how it is going to flow. So let us take the first one, compassion for the friends and relatives, from verse number 28 to 30. Arjuna uvacha Dishrevam janam Krishna yutsam samupastitam siddhanti mama gatrani mukham cha parisushyati. Arjuna uvacha, Arjuna said, Drishtra, after seeing imam, all this, Swajanam, kingsmen, Krishna, O Krishna, yutsam, all in a fighting spirit, samupastitam, present, siddhanti, are querying, mama, my, gatrani, limbs of the body, mukham, mouth, cha, also, parisushyati, is drying up. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So, when Arjuna sees in this way, we can see what happens to him. So, he's fearful, he's compassionate, and so many emotions are being churned in his heart. And therefore, uh, his mouth is drying up, he's unable to speak. So anyone who has genuine devotion to the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly persons or in demigods, whereas a non-devotee, however advanced he may be in material qualification by education and culture, lacks in godly qualities. So this point is very important. We should understand. Anyone who has genuine devotion to the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly persons. So as our devotion increases, the qualities in us should increase. And I think yesterday only we were discussing about different qualities. Amanitvam, adambitvam, that is humility, prideless, and non-violence, tolerance. So these qualities which are mentioned by Krishna, and we'll see Krishna again and again in Bhagavad Gita mentioned all these qualities, that no, do not tolerate dualities in this life, don't be agitated. Why does Krishna tell these qualities again and again? So if we see Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is not a matter of intellect, it is a matter of devotion. If we have devotion, we'll understand Bhagavad Gita well. If we have intelligence, we may or we may not be able to understand Gita. So devotion is more important than intelligence. And therefore, the definition of intelligence which is given, or the knowledge which is given by Krishna, is all these qualities. And therefore, it is said, anyone who has genuine devotion to Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly person or in demigods. So gradually, while we are reading this Bhagavad Gita, it's an intellectual thing. Side by side, we should also try to develop all these qualities. Intellectual thing or scholarship or memorizing of slokas and all is just a very small part of Bhagavad Gita. And therefore, when we hear some people who are quoting slokas like anything, we should not be impressed. We should see, are they following what they are speaking? So there was my friend, and my friend's friend had read Bhagavad Gita for 14, 15 times. And my friend was very impressed that, oh, you have read this Bhagavad Gita for 14, 15 times. So he said, yes, I have read this 14, 15 times. Then my friend inquired that if you have read this Bhagavad Gita for 14, 15 times, then why are you still eating meat? Your language is so full and you are speaking like this and the behavior is not so good. So my friend's friend told me that, why? Why should we change all these things? Then my friend said that if you are reading Bhagavad Gita, then you understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. That your qualities in you should change. And if there is no change in your qualities, then what is the purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita? Then my friend's friend told that, no, I am reading Bhagavad Gita just for intellectual thing, so that I can tell others that I also read Bhagavad Gita. It's not for all these qualities and all. So we should not hear from such people who are scholarly, but who have not imbibed all these qualities. Or at least he should try to imbibe these qualities. He should have faith that these qualities work and he should try to imbibe. This should be the mode. And therefore, whenever we read Bhagavad Gita, it is an intellectual thing. We understand, we'll go by verse and everything. But more than intellect is devotion. And therefore, we should try to increase our devotion day by day. And we should have our marking system or something, that how much devotion is increased this month than previous month. In every month, am I going towards my devotion increasing or not towards the Lord? This should be our aim of reading Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, the aim of reading Bhagavad Gita is not to memorize the 700 shlokas, is not to argue with others that you are not following this or not following. There may be historical background beyond Bhagavad Gita. There may be grammatical things that see how the grammar is there. It's e or something like this, and there are so many expressions given in Bhagavad Gita because of grammar, and there's so much background behind this. But the main purpose of Bhagavad Gita is its devotion. So is devotion increased or not? So in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, this is a book which we read after we read Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad, and then we go for Chaitanya Charitamrita book. So in that book, one example comes of a Brahmin, and this Brahmin is very illiterate. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees that a Brahmin is trying to read Bhagavad Gita, and he's speaking very not very good. His reciting of shlokas is not proper, and but he has tears in his eyes, and he's trying to read Bhagavad Gita. And seeing that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, what are you doing? And why are you crying? So the Brahmin says that I am trying to read Bhagavad Gita, but because I'm irritated, I'm not able to read Bhagavad Gita. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that if you're not able to read Bhagavad Gita, why are you crying? So he says that whenever I see Krishna as a chariot driver, I feel how much love Krishna has for his devotee. And seeing such love from Krishna, my heart gets melted. I'm just crying, seeing the affection of Krishna for his devotee. And that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that whatever you are speaking is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and you are the knower of Bhagavad Gita. So if we see, he has not read Bhagavad Gita because he's irritated, he cannot read Bhagavad Gita, but he knows the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So while we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we should understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and the essence of Bhagavad Gita is to become devotee of Lord Krishna. And so at the end of Bhagavad Gita, if we can develop some devotion to Bhagavad Gita, then this is the we are successful. So somebody may say that if we do not have devotion, can you not read Bhagavad Gita? Yes, we can read Bhagavad Gita, and with reading of Bhagavad Gita, we can develop some devotion. And after we have developed some devotion, we should again read Bhagavad Gita. And after we gain much more knowledge and information and devotion by reading Bhagavad Gita, we should again grow. And this way, we should grow. So Bhagavad Gita should not be read once, it should be read again and again and again. And like this, our devotion should grow. So whenever we read again, if we read, then what will happen? We'll grow deeper. The meaning which we know, the things which we know will go deep and deep and deep. And therefore, another question may be raised here. See, however advanced he may be in material qualities, by education culture lacks in godly qualities. So whereas a non-devotee, however advanced he may be in material qualifications, by education and culture lacks in godly qualities. So sometimes we see a devotee is not showing very good qualities, but whereas a non-devotee is very gentle, very good, and sometimes we see like this, and sometimes our faith in devotional service because of such things is hampered. So let us take one example of a building. So what is important in a building is foundation. If you have a good foundation in a building, then the building will stand tall. So if a person has devotion, that means he has a good foundation. And because the foundation well begun, very soon the building will manifest. So presently, the devotee may not have good qualities. He may be not having very good character because he's in the mode of passion or ignorance or whatever maybe. So, but gradually, because he's practicing bhakti, because he's going in devotional, what will happen gradually is his devotion will increase, and because of devotion is increasing, his godly qualities will increase. And in this way, ultimately he will show all the good qualities also. But whereas a non-devotee, if he is showing a good quality also, maximum it is in the mode of goodness. But because this mode of goodness is not based on devotional service, gradually what will happen with association changing, with the times changing, he may move to mode of passion or ignorance. Because mode of goodness, you cannot stay for long if you don't have very good association or you are not a devotee. You will again come down. And therefore, the person who is showing good qualities now may change later. And we have seen so many examples of in our life. So there was one person, there was one Mataji, who was from a Brahmin background, very Brahmin, very pakka in the goodness, never ever ate wrong things, never ever drink, or no, nothing like this. And if she saw something like this, she would get akashed. How can I see like this? So gradually she grew up, and being from a Brahmin family, she had all the qualities and everything. And in college, as we know, she fell in love with another person. And after falling in love with another person, eventually they got married. But the other person was a non-vegetarian and had all the things which she should not have. So because she fell in love with that person and she had to cook and do all the things. So what she did is, for herself, she would cook all the vegetarian things and what is not, what is good. And for his husband and all, she would cook all the things, non-vegetarian things and all the things which is not to be taken, because this is a part of her, because of the marriage they had done. So gradually what happened after some time is, she thought that, let me also taste one time that what it feels like eating this. And after some time, we knew that gradually she also became a non-vegetarian. She started a YouTube channel and she was now promoting how to cook so many things, which was against the Shastra. Shastras prohibit human beings to eat non-vegetarian things and all, drink alcohol and all, except in case of emergencies, which are not the case now. But she eventually turned out to be a non-vegetarian, did so many things, and uh, therefore, this quality of goodness also is not being sustained. It cannot be sustained long if you don't have devotion. And therefore, if we see that there are some discrepancies, ultimately we should understand this will all go away. And gradually we'll see that devotees will develop good qualities. And therefore, we should also strive in that direction. And here also, we see that as Arjuna, just after seeing his kinsmen, friends, and relatives on the battlefield, was at once overwhelmed with compassion for them who had so decided to fight amongst themselves. So this compassion is coming in the heart of Arjuna because of his devotion, his devotional qualities. And therefore, if we see further, as far as his soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning, but he felt compassion even for the soldiers of opposing party, forcing the immediate death. So here, Arjuna is not only concerned for the people from his party, but he is concerned for opposite party also. So see, a devotee also wants to do good for the enemy also. So here Arjuna, he cares for people on the opposite party also, and he wants to see that the people on the opposite party also are not being killed unnecessarily, and therefore he is feeling compassion for all of them. And while he was so thinking, the limbs of his body began to quiver and his mouth became dry. He was more or less astonished to see their fighting spirit. Practically the whole community, whole blood relatives of Arjuna had come to fight with him. This overwhelmed a kind devotee like Arjuna. So in relationship also, everything goes on nice, but if we hurt egos of other, everyone will start fighting with each other. And this we have seen. And the fight which goes between the relatives, it's very gruesome. If we see now also, people will not hesitate to kill one's brother, sister, father, mother, or anyone. They will not hesitate. See, somebody is from outside, they will just slap or do some things. But if somebody is a very close relative, the fight goes on very long, and the effects are much more harder for us to understand. The loss is also much more. And there also, if we see, Arjuna wants to avoid such losses, and therefore he's astonished at how everyone has come in this fighting spirit. Practically the whole community, brother relatives have come to fight. And this overwhelmed the kind devotee like Arjuna. Although it is not mentioned here, still one can easily imagine that not only were Arjuna's body limbs were quivering and his mouth drying, but he was also crying out of compassion. Such symptoms in Arjuna were not due to weakness of his, but due to his soft-heartedness, a characteristic of pure devotee of the Lord. It is therefore said. So, as we practice bhakti, our heart should become soft. So, if our heart is not becoming softer by day by day, that means we are not practicing bhakti in the real sense. And that should be one of the characters which we to develop in the long run, that our heart softens. It should not be hard. So Krishna will steal butter from our house, from our heart, if it is softened. Krishna likes soft butter, which is very soft. Why? This is the heart of a devotee. So our heart should also become like butter, like soft, so that Krishna comes and steals our heart. And in this way, we can become peaceful and happy. Further, the shloka, we have already discussed this. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarve gunes tatra samasate sura haro bhaktaksa kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. One who has unflinching devotion for the personality of Godhead has all the good qualities of demigods, but one who is not a devotee of the Lord has only material qualifications that are of little value. This is because he is hovering on the mental plane and is certain to be attracted by the glaring material energy. This we have already discussed, that one who has unflinching devotion for Supreme Personality of Godhead as all the qualities of demigods. And this we will see in devotees gradually developing. We will see that it is already developing. But one who has not a devotee of the Lord has only material qualifications that are of little value. So if we have material qualifications, it will not grow much, and it has not much value. It should be based on devotional service. The foundation of all the material qualifications should also be based on devotional things. This is because he's hovering on material plane and is certain to be attracted by glaring material energy. So because we are on material plane, today or tomorrow will again be attracted by this material energy, and thereby at any time we may change our direction. And therefore we should be very careful to always change the association of devotees, like-minded devotees, and thereby we should then grow in our devotional service. So devotional service is a matter of 10, 15, 20 years and more. It's not a matter of 1 or 2 days. So every day, every month, every year, if we practice devotional service for so many years, then gradual devotional service will be seen by others. And this is the commitment we should have, that till the end of my life, I will practice devotional service. If we want to achieve the goal, that is prema to Krishna and Radharani. So this is what we should have. And therefore, gradually, we should be detached from material things. But this should happen gradually and not whimsically. We should not do things whimsically, but gradually we should develop. Not like somebody will say that I am very fed up with the family or work or anything, and now I'll go into Vrindavan and stay. No, it will not happen like this. Gradually, our devotion should increase, and gradually we should develop everything. And then, when a mature stage comes, then we'll have our seniors guiding us, and they will tell us that now is the time that we should spend more time, and we can go in Vrindavan and stay there and whatever things. Otherwise, we'll do more of dham aparad, and we may come down also. And therefore, we should think this how we can grow. So further, verse number 29. Vepatuscha sharire me romahascha jayate gandivam samsate hastat tvakcheva paridhayate. Vepatu, trembling of the body, cha also, sharire, on the body, me, my, romaharsha, standing on of hair on end, cha also, jayate is taking place, gandivam, the bow of Arjuna, shamsate is slipping, hastat from the hand, tvak seen, cha also, eva certainly, paridhyate is burning. So my whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. So this is what is happening with Arjuna. So there are two kinds of trembling of the body and two kinds of standing on the hair on end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or after of great fear and the material conditions. So if we see the external conditions now, they will look like same. Either in fear also we may shake, or in great spiritual ecstasy also we may have those conditions. So only an advanced devotee can know the symptoms of such, and he can judge that whether we are advanced or it is because of material things. And therefore here such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or great fear under material conditions. There is no fear in transcendental realization. So there is no fear in transcendental. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. So above we saw that Arjuna's spiritual quality is being described, that he is being spiritual and therefore he has compassion. But apart from his compassion for spiritual things also, he's also saying that materially there will be loss of life, and therefore Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. So he does not want that the others will there will be loss of life for others also. So inside he has compassion in his heart, and outside he does not want that people should lose their life unnecessarily. So both the sides is being shown by Prabhupada here. Arjuna's symptoms, this is evident from other symptoms also. He became so impatient that his famous bow Gandiva was slipping from his hands. And because his heart was burning within him, he was all feeling a burning sensation of the skin. All these are due to material conception of life. So is all due to material conception that we need to take over. So for Arjuna, Krishna has put him in this circumstance so that Gita can be spoken. And Arjuna is being an instrument in this way. And his famous move, Gandhi while sleeping. This is very important because Arjuna had taken a vow that whoever tells me to put my Gandhi down, I will kill him. And there are so many instances where Yudhishthira Maharaj tells him to put his Gandiva and he's ready to kill him, but Krishna saves the situation. So here, Arjuna took the vow, but Arjuna himself is keeping the Gandiva down. So see the situation where he is not ready to fight. This is a very important thing to understand in our life, that in our life also now, the parties who are not, who are beyond us or who are not in us, or suppose I can tell in another ways, if we either war is lost by us, it is because of us, not others. It is we who lose the war before the war is actually lost. And therefore, we should try to develop such kind of willpower within us. Therefore, we should try to make ourselves very strong that we can face any situation in life. Here also, if we see now, the opponent's army are not able to make Arjuna put his Gandiva down, but he himself is putting his Gandiva down. So, whatever opponents we have in our life now can never ever harm us, can never ever demotivate us. If we are demotivated, if we are harmed, it is because of our thinking only. And therefore, our thinking should be of such, it should always be in line with Bhagavad Gita and with the message of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And we should always be cheerful and enthusiastic that whatever happens at the end of life, how many battles I lose, but the war that I'll become a devotee, I will definitely win the war. I will definitely become the devotee of Krishna. And therefore, whatever circumstances I am facing now, I will face with grace. So this is what one should have always in mind, and you should fight. So verse number 30. Na cha shaknomi avasthatum brahmati vacha me mana nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshavam. Na nor cha also shaknomi am I able avasthatum to say brahmati forgetting eva as cha and me my mana mind nimittani causes cha also pashyami I see viparitani just the opposite keshava ocular of the demon keshi Krishna. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I only see causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of Keshi demon. So here Arjuna is saying that I am not able to stay stronger and I am forgetting myself. So Arjuna is now only seeing the cause of misfortune. And this is the way how we interpret it. So our mind may interpret something which is very fortunate thing into something which is very misfortunate thing. So see how the thinking goes. Krishna is saying win the war and take the army. Even if you lose, even if all the people are killed, they will go to Swarga. So there is no loss. Actually, you go to Swarga and you cannot go like this. You have to do so many tapasya. But by fighting the war, you can go to Swarga. And even if you win here, then you have all this kingdom. But what is Arjuna is seeing? I do not want to fight. I do not want to fight, and I am seeing all the cause of misfortune. So, training of mind is one of the most important thing in bhakti we should do. Due to impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of his weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things put a man in such a bewilderment condition of existence. So if we are more attached to things than needed, then we will always be bewildered, as what Arjuna is. Bhayam dvitiya nivesha syat. Srimad Bhagavatam 11 to 37. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectation, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. Nobody is interested in supreme self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. Once real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna, the conditioned souls forget this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. So here, if we see, Arjuna is thinking, if I win, then also I lose. If I lose, I lose. So he's seeing everything as a cause of his misfortune, and therefore he doesn't want to fight. And therefore, if we see, Arjuna is only envisioning painful reverses in the battlefield. So vision, again, I will say, is very important in our life. What vision do we have in our life? And let us set our vision that we'll complete this Bhagavad Gita till the end. We'll staying together. And not only will be completing Bhagavad Gita, we'll be becoming devotee of Lord Krishna. And in this way, progressing our devotional service. And all our endeavors are directed towards that. And our endeavor will only be successful if we achieve this goal. And gradually, if we meet each other every week, this can be achieved. This is not a very lofty goal. This is a goal which we can achieve, but it requires patience and endeavor every week after week, month after month, and year after year. But certainly we can achieve this goal. So I think let me stop here. It's I think 7:51. So let us take some questions or something which we have for better understanding and clarity. If you have some comments, some questions, some feedback or something, we can share for next 5-7 minutes, and then end for the day. So next week we'll not have any class. Next week I am giving you off so that we can prepare, and also Ganpati festival is also coming. So let all us prepare for the book Journey Home presentation on 11th of 12th of September. So I want this presentation to be of very good quality so that we can go deep, because we are learning this principle from Bhagavad Gita, but we also need examples of people who have lived the principles of Bhagavad Gita in our real life. And as only as Radha Maharaj is one person who has lived this principle and is alive for us to see. And his journey, the journey home, is one of the most wonderful book which is looked after by so many devotees. The examples he has set are so wonderful, and therefore we have kept this presentation by all the devotees. So everyone, I will request everyone to present whatever they know, either the chapter or the whole book or whatever they can. We have around some days pending for that, around 10 days. 10 days we have. So everybody is requested so that they prepare and present whatever they can, maybe PPT or maybe Word document or whatever way they can. The gist of this is that they should understand what we are doing, why we are doing, and at the same time understand the book also. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.